What's going on, guys? My name is Chris Killey, and I am the founder of EO Staff, where we provide remote assistance to founders, entrepreneurs, executives, managers, things like that. All right, today I am going to talk about the importance of properly training your new remote employee. All right, so this is something that's really, really important, but I see a lot of people get it wrong. So hey, it's not very difficult. It's something pretty simple. I'm gonna walk you through a couple exercises that we use to get our new hires and our remote team up to speed. So the first and foremost is to establish a regular cadence for your meetings. All right, this doesn't have to be daily, hourly, it can be weekly. I would recommend in the beginning, at least having it bi-weekly, if not daily, to make sure that the questions are being answered, make sure that expectations are being met, and also that expectations are being conveyed. Because a lot of times we will see somebody new that comes on into a business and they're not really given clear instruction. And so they just kind of wing it. And then the supervisor comes back and they're like, what were you doing? And they're like, I really didn't have a lot of guidance, so I kind of guessed. And the supervisor's like, oh man, well that's wrong, right? We're gonna have to restart this. So you can avoid all that by having regularly scheduled meetings where you check in and make sure you're both moving in the right direction. Another thing you should do is provide them with the credentials that they're gonna need to do their job. All right, so many times we see that somebody's like, oh, just go ahead and set up your Slack, or go ahead and here's your email. So they're not getting access to the tools that they need to succeed in their position. This is overlooked. So first of all, your executive assistant should be handling this. And if you don't have one of those, we need to talk, because that is the very first step that you should do before you start hiring all kinds of other people into your business. But I digress. You wanna make sure that they have the passwords and the logins to all of your systems, okay? And then also you're gonna wanna walk them through a pretty quick training. I'll give you an example. HubSpot is a pretty popular one, but there's lots of different companies that run lots of different ways, right? And so you wanna make sure that they're not creating new workflows, that they're operating within the ones that you currently use. Another really important one is to encourage them to ask questions. So what I found, especially for my direct team, is that if they're not asking a lot of questions, especially in the beginning, it's probably not a good sign. They may not last that long. Because a lot of times when I hire a direct report, I like to test their critical thinking skills. And so I don't give them all the pieces of the puzzle, right? I want them to be able to connect the dots. I want to see how their brain works. I give them enough to get started. I give them the check-ins along the way, but they're going to need to be able to think for themselves in a lot of different situations, because there's times that I may not be around down the road, okay? So I need to be able to trust that they are able to make the right decisions and that they think the way and they problem solve the way that I would. So make sure that they have clear direction, make sure that they have what your expectations are, make sure they have the skills and the knowledge, right? You should have tested their skills, you should have tested their knowledge, you should have tested their experience during the hiring process. So you wanna make sure that you're setting these guys up for success and not failure. Picking them up, bringing them on and giving them minimal guidance and then not giving them any support. The support is the most important part. If the support's not there, then they will guess. And if they guess, they're usually gonna get it wrong, especially if they're brand new and they don't understand the systems yet. So those regular check-ins are so very, very important. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. We could go a lot deeper on this subject, but we're gonna create more videos along the way. I wanna go ahead and start here and add to it in the future. So if you like what you see, subscribe to the channel or share this with your friends. That's how more people see this content, and it gives us direction on what kind of content we should make moving forward. There's lots of stuff that we can make, and we plan on doing a whole lot of it, but the more input that we get, the easier it is for us to create content that you guys are gonna like. So thanks again, appreciate you, and we'll talk soon.